You are more. You are more than what you give yourself credit for. You are more. You're more because your life has been spoken for. You are more. You're more than those pieces you think can't be restored. You are more. See, for you, Jesus took the nails and thorns. For you, he was ripped apart and scorned, and as his blood splattered the earth, he knew it was to keep you from spilling yours. And as he hung there bare, drenched in our shame and guilt, it was to restore any curse or lie that anyone against you has ever tried to build. Yes, on that day, death surely died. A few days later, proving that it was defeated when Jesus arose from a borrowed tomb to prove that God's love had superseded. And just about that time, Satan thought that love had been undone. Well, that was around the same time that our victory was won. And we are no longer enemies because the grave has been overcome. So now God only sees us as beautiful daughters and courageous sons. And this is when we begin to see the depths of our spiritual atrophy well up in heaps of his adequacy. And the words from our lips that used to only speak blasphemy will begin to shout beautiful truths as we start to understand this perfect matrimony. Because we are no longer slaves to the sin that used to woo us, or to Satan who flips truth upside down in an attempt to accuse us. We've been bought by the Almighty who so deliberately pursues us. And even knowing that at times we'd run away, God in his love chose to choose us. So when I say that you're more, it's not because of your works, but because of who works in you. Remember, Jesus has promised that he is making all things new, and this includes you. From our eyes to our minds, from our hands to our mouths, so we can be an army whose lives proclaim Jehovah shouts. So with our staves held high, let us approach the water and boldly strike to watch as every lie gladly makes its departure. And then out of God's grace, his church will choose to serve and love her, never offering up soiled fruit, but laying our lives down daily on the altar. We will live by the paradox that to die is gain. We will be propelled by the truth that Jesus has broken every single chain. We will rep Ephesians 6 and stand firm for our risen King, and we vow to be the bride who proudly wears our wedding ring. So with our armor in place, we will continue to march forward because we are driven by a love that cannot be ignored. We will fight against evil for people with that double-edged sword. And because we fight for a kingdom that cannot be shaken, we refuse to stay on the shore. See, God, he's called us to start holy riots so that safe life just doesn't cut it anymore. So regardless of your age, social status, race, or gender, Christ gave up everything to be your defender. He has called you by name. He has declared that you are fearfully and wonderfully made. So when evil attacks, stand firm with your shield of faith. No matter the size of the wave or how fearful in exchange, abide in the promises that our God has made. Know that you've been given life by him who continues to make you brave. And out of that boldness, let's be a people that choose to praise his name, because with him, you are more.